Prince Harry returned to Britain, hoping the week would remind people of the causes that once made him one of the royal family's most effective public figures. Instead, the visit exposed a far more uncomfortable reality. While Harry faced a damaging legal setback, renewed questions over security, confusion surrounding royal accommodation, and speculation about whether he would meet his father, the rest of the monarchy appeared determined to project the opposite image: stability, discipline, and continuity. King Charles continued with official duties, Queen Camilla remained visible, and the Prince and Princess of Wales carried on with engagements that looked calm and purposeful. The contrast was impossible to ignore. Harry still attracts attention, but William and Catherine increasingly represent control. One side was reacting to another crisis, the other was showing the public what the next chapter of the monarchy is supposed to look like. The timing made the contrast even sharper. Harry's court defeat arrived during a visit that was meant to emphasize service. Reports suggested that he was visibly affected when he appeared soon after learning the outcome. That reaction would be understandable. The case was personal, expensive, and closely connected to his long campaign against sections of the British press. Yet his response also created a new problem. By describing the result in severe terms, Harry did not simply express disappointment with a newspaper group. He appeared to challenge the credibility of a legal decision reached within the constitutional system, over which his father serves as head of state. The more forceful his language became, the harder it was for the palace to appear anywhere near the dispute. For royal advisors, this was not only a family matter, it was an institutional risk. That risk helps explain why the argument over Buckingham Palace accommodation became so important. Different accounts circulated about whether Harry had been offered a place to stay, whether he accepted within the required time, and whether security questions delayed the decision. The public saw a simple and emotionally powerful image: the king's younger son returning to Britain, but apparently unable to stay in a royal residence. Palace officials would have seen something much more complicated. Accommodation inside an official residence involves staff, security teams, access routes, schedules, communications, and the possibility that any public statement made by Harry would be symbolically linked to the crown. If Harry had delivered a furious response to the court judgment while staying at Buckingham Palace, the building itself would have become part of the story. This is why the palace's unusually quick correction mattered. Royal households often allow speculation to fade, rather than entering a public argument. On this occasion, the institution appeared unwilling to let uncertainty stand. That suggests officials believed the claim could create consequences beyond a disagreement over a room. Harry's side may have felt embarrassed and rejected. The palace may have felt it was preventing an official residence from becoming the background to another confrontation between Harry and the British establishment. Both sides may believe they were acting defensively. The result, however, was another public dispute that pushed the charities and veterans Harry came to support into the background. The incident also revealed how little trust remains. A family with confidence in one another could resolve accommodation privately. A family without confidence turns deadlines, rooms, transport, and security into matters of public interpretation. Harry may believe palace sources regularly shape stories against him. Palace advisors may believe Harry's team announces incomplete arrangements to create pressure. Once both sides expect the other to control the narrative, even a practical misunderstanding becomes evidence of bad faith. The real argument is no longer about where Harry sleeps. It is about who has the right to define what happened, and whether any private arrangement can remain private. King Charles appears to occupy the most difficult position. As monarch, he has to protect the institution. As a father, he may still want contact with his son. Those responsibilities do not always point in the same direction. Charles can care about Harry without restoring him to royal duty. He can meet him privately without approving his legal statements. He can want a relationship with Archie and Lilibet without allowing family photographs to become public symbols of reconciliation. The king may be willing to keep a personal door open, but that does not mean the official royal door is moving in the same direction. Any meeting between Charles and Harry would therefore be most likely to happen on carefully controlled terms. The king's diary cannot be reorganized every time Harry visits Britain. Official duties, medical considerations, security arrangements, and the work of the monarchy do not disappear because a family relationship remains unresolved. A private conversation may be possible, but the palace will want clarity about timing, location, confidentiality, and what will be said afterward. Harry may find such conditions cold. The palace may consider them essential. When trust has been weakened by books, interviews, documentaries, anonymous briefings, and years of public accusation, procedure replaces spontaneity. Prince William's calculation is even harder. Charles is trying to manage a relationship during his own reign. William is preparing to inherit the consequences of any arrangement created now. If Harry is allowed a limited return to public duties, William would eventually be responsible for deciding whether that role continues. If the Sussexes remain commercially independent while appearing at selected royal events, every appearance would raise questions about status, authority, and financial benefit. William may therefore see a temporary gesture of reconciliation as a permanent problem waiting to enter his reign. That is why reports of a so-called thaw have always required caution. The idea sounds emotionally attractive. Harry returns for selected charities, supports veterans, attends major national occasions, and slowly rebuilds trust with the family. But the practical questions are difficult. Who chooses the engagements? Who controls the message? Does Harry speak as the king's son, as an independent campaigner, or as a representative of the crown? What happens if he publicly disagrees with a palace decision immediately afterward? What role would Meghan hold? Would official royal visibility increase the commercial value of their private projects? These are not minor details. They are the reason the half-in, half-out model was rejected in the first place. The monarchy depends on clarity. Working royals accept limits on commercial activity, political expression, and personal publicity because they act in the name of the sovereign. Harry and Meghan left partly because they wanted greater independence. That choice may have been understandable, but independence carries a consequence. They cannot automatically use the authority of the institution while rejecting the controls that come with it. A selective arrangement might look flexible from the outside, but inside the palace it could create endless negotiation. William may prefer a smaller monarchy with fewer engagements to a larger one built around relationships he does not trust. William and Catherine's public appearances during the same period strengthened that message without requiring them to say anything about Harry. They continued with engagements focused on children, communities, health, service, and long-term projects. Their strategy was simple. Do not enter the argument. Do not compete for drama, and do not let the Sussex story define the work of the future monarchy. That distance is valuable because every public reaction would pull them back into the conflict. By refusing to respond, they allow the contrast to form naturally. Harry appears caught in another dispute. William and Catherine appear focused on what comes next. Catherine's return to a more visible public role has made that contrast even more powerful. Her health journey changed the rhythm of the Wales household and created a period of genuine uncertainty. Yet she did not turn the experience into a continuous public performance. She shared enough to reassure people, kept medical details private, and returned gradually through carefully chosen appearances. That balance created trust. The public could see vulnerability without feeling that every private moment had been turned into content. Her approach showed that privacy can be real when it is supported by consistency. Her recent engagements have also allowed her personal experience to connect with wider causes. When she meets patients, children, families, or medical staff, the focus is not only on what happened to her. Her experience becomes a bridge to the experiences of others. That is an important royal skill. A public figure can acknowledge personal difficulty while still directing attention toward the people and institutions being supported. Catherine's appearances often communicate warmth without oversharing and strength without pretending that recovery is simple. After a period in which the public worried deeply about her, that style has become reassuring. The strength of the Wales family image comes from the structure behind it. William and Catherine appear supported by their children and by a close private family network. That does not mean their lives are perfect. It means they have a foundation that does not depend entirely on palace machinery or public approval. During illness, pressure, and uncertainty, that foundation matters. William has had to support his wife, care for his children, watch his father undergo treatment, and continue preparing for kingship. Catherine has had to recover while protecting her family and returning to duty at a pace she could manage. Their partnership has become part of the monarchy's public credibility. This is where the difference between image and performance becomes important. William and Catherine are often described as highly polished, and critics sometimes treat that polish as evidence that something must be hidden. But discipline is not the same as dishonesty. A royal couple can experience fear, frustration, and private difficulty without broadcasting every emotion. The purpose of their public role is not to prove that they suffer more authentically than anyone else. It is to remain useful and stable while managing personal challenges responsibly. That restraint is one reason their public support has remained strong. Harry and Meghan face the opposite problem. They have often spoken about privacy while also sharing highly personal grievances through interviews, books, and streaming projects. Their supporters argue that they went public because private channels failed. Their critics argue that the couple turned family pain into a commercial product. Whatever motive a viewer accepts, the result is the same. The public now expects every private Sussex moment to carry a future media possibility. A meeting, text message, family disagreement, or photograph is no longer viewed as simply private. It is viewed as material that might later be explained, defended, or monetized. That expectation damages Harry even when his intentions are sincere. He may attend an event because he genuinely cares about veterans or children, yet the questions surrounding him quickly shift toward Meghan, security, Charles, William, titles, or legal battles. The cause loses control of the headline. Harry still has a natural ability to connect with people who have experienced injury, grief, or service. He can be relaxed, funny, and attentive when the focus is on someone else. But those strengths repeatedly compete with the conflict that follows him. Invictus remains the clearest example. The games are widely associated with Harry's military experience and his belief in the power of sport to support wounded, injured, and sick service personnel. Participants and families have described meaningful changes in confidence, purpose, and community. That achievement should be protected, yet large international events also need sponsors, public funding, reliable governance, and confidence that the mission will not be overshadowed by one person's private disputes. Reports about costs or funding changes should be assessed carefully. But the broader point is valid. Controversy around Harry can affect organizations connected to him. The most effective way to protect Invictus would be to place the competitors at the center and separate the games from palace reconciliation. Meghan's attendance should not become the main question. Charles's involvement, if it ever occurs, should not be treated as proof that the family conflict is resolved. William's absence should not be interpreted as opposition to veterans. The organization must be larger than the Sussex story. Harry's greatest contribution would be to ensure that his profile amplifies the mission rather than replacing it. This same principle applies to every charity connected to him. Public attention is valuable only when it helps the people the charity serves. Cameras can attract donations, but they can also redirect attention towards celebrity. Streaming platforms, commercial partnerships, and personal branding create additional questions about where charity ends and content begins. That does not mean Harry should avoid media entirely. It means the purpose of the media presence must be clear. Beneficiaries should not become background characters in a story about royal conflict. Meghan's position is equally complicated. If she appears beside Harry in Britain, the public reaction becomes part of the event. Every expression, interaction, outfit, cheer, and criticism is analyzed. If she stays away, her absence creates another round of theories. Some suggest security is the main concern. Others believe she wants to avoid a hostile reception or distance herself from Harry's legal difficulties. None of those private motives can be known with certainty. What can be observed is that either choice risks overwhelming the original purpose of the visit. Her commercial ambitions also affect how every royal connection is interpreted. A lifestyle business built around food, home, entertaining, and personal taste could provide a genuine independent future. There is nothing inherently wrong with that path. Success, however, depends on consistency, useful products, customer confidence, and a clear identity. The more the business appears connected to fresh royal drama, the more difficult it becomes to prove that it can stand on its own. Royal association attracts attention, But attention is not the same as a sustainable business. Harry and Meghan's central challenge is that they want independence, while royal identity remains their strongest source of visibility. Harry is still the king's son. Meghan is still widely known through her marriage into the royal family. Their titles, family connections, and past experiences ensure that even unrelated projects are covered through a royal lens. They cannot erase that connection, but they can decide whether to keep feeding it. A quieter and more consistent period focused on work rather than grievance would gradually create a different public identity. The relationship between the brothers remains the deepest obstacle. Their conflict is not only about one interview, one memoir, or one argument. It reflects different interpretations of loyalty, duty, grief, marriage, and the future. Harry may believe William chose the institution over his brother. William may believe Harry exposed the family to protect his own public position. Each sees himself as responding to a betrayal. That is why Charles cannot simply command them to reconcile. A public photograph could create the appearance of progress, but it could not create trust. Catherine's position makes William even more cautious. Private details involving her have already entered public discussion, and years of comparison with Meghan have created unnecessary pressure. William is unlikely to support an arrangement that brings Catherine and the children back into a cycle of uncertainty. George, Charlotte, and Louis are growing up in a digital world where family conflict remains permanently available. William may see distance not as revenge, but as a way to protect the next generation from becoming material in another adult dispute. The future of Prince George also changes the institutional calculation. As he grows older, public interest in his eventual role will increase. William and Catherine will want his introduction to royal responsibility to be gradual and stable. A monarchy constantly distracted by unresolved Sussex conflict makes that harder. The future heir should not have every milestone interpreted against the latest argument involving his uncle. For William, protecting the crown includes protecting the environment in which his children grow into it. This is why the public unity shown by Charles, Camilla, William, and Catherine matters. It does not prove that every relationship behind palace walls is warm or uncomplicated. It demonstrates that the working institution can coordinate despite personal strain. The King and the Prince of Wales may disagree on some matters, but both have a strong interest in continuity. Charles wants his reign to remain effective. William wants to inherit a stable structure. Harry's public battles can therefore strengthen their practical cooperation even when father and son have their own differences. Camilla's role should not be ignored. Harry criticized her sharply in his memoir, and those words created a lasting wound. Charles is unlikely to pursue reconciliation with Harry in a way that undermines his wife. Camilla may support private contact between father and son while insisting on boundaries that protect the household. Her caution would be understandable. She has spent decades under intense media scrutiny and knows how private royal information can be used to shape public judgment. Peace with Charles cannot require pretending that the criticism of Camilla never happened. Harry's campaign against the press is similarly rooted in experiences that cannot be dismissed. He grew up under extraordinary media attention and connects press intrusion to the trauma surrounding his mother's death. Those experiences help explain the intensity of his anger and his desire to protect his wife and children. But explanation is not the same as automatic legal validation. A person can have legitimate historical grievances and still fail to prove a specific claim. Courts must decide cases on evidence, not on whether a claimant's wider pain is understandable. The legal defeat therefore presents Harry with a choice. He can treat the outcome as confirmation that every institution is aligned against him, or he can separate the judgment from his broader mission and decide where his strongest case truly lies. Constant litigation is expensive financially and emotionally. It keeps his public identity tied to conflict and ensures that every charitable appearance is accompanied by questions about the next case. If this defeat marks the end of a major chapter, it could create space for Harry to build something more constructive. That constructive path already exists. Veterans, military families, children facing serious illness, and mental health initiatives are areas where Harry has experience and credibility. He does not need an official palace role to continue that work. He does not need a balcony, a uniform, or a royal residence to be useful. The challenge is emotional rather than practical. Independent service may never provide the royal recognition he still appears to value. Accepting that reality would require him to stop measuring every achievement against what he lost. William and Catherine offer a different model of public relevance. Their projects are designed to extend beyond a single news cycle. Earthshot connects William to environmental innovation and practical solutions. Catherine's work on early childhood and her growing connection to health-related causes create a long-term purpose rooted in public need. These projects are not built around personal grievance. They give the future king and queen identities based on what they are trying to build, not on what they believe was done to them. Harry and Meghan's California strategy has often looked less settled. At different moments, they have appeared as documentary producers, campaigners, lifestyle entrepreneurs, speakers, media critics, philanthropists, and members of a royal family they publicly rejected. None of those roles is impossible, but the constant movement between them creates uncertainty. Viewers struggle to understand what the Sussex project is ultimately trying to become. The Wales do not have that problem. Their future role is fixed, and their work is building toward it. This does not make William and Catherine immune from criticism. A modern monarchy must learn from mistakes, especially in international and Commonwealth settings where old symbolism can appear insensitive. William has previously acknowledged that royal tours cannot simply repeat patterns from the past. Future visits will require preparation, listening, partnership, and awareness of how images are interpreted. The ability to adjust after criticism is not weakness. It is necessary leadership for an institution that expects to survive changing public attitudes. Charles has also demonstrated the value of symbolic diplomacy. The monarch does not exercise day-to-day political power, but the crown can create moments of continuity and shared recognition. That influence depends on restraint. The sovereign cannot behave like an ordinary political commentator or public campaigner. Harry's difficulty is that he still benefits from royal status while often speaking with the freedom of a private activist. The combination produces constitutional discomfort whenever his language touches the courts, government decisions, or national institutions. The security dispute reflects the same contradiction. Harry may face genuine risks, and no responsible observer should dismiss those concerns. But security decisions are made through formal assessments, not simply through public pressure. Announcing travel possibilities or accommodation expectations before arrangements are confirmed can create the impression that institutions are being pushed into a decision. Even when that is not the intention, the result can look chaotic. A serious security process requires privacy, planning, and acceptance that not every request will be granted. The palace also carries responsibility. It cannot demand silence from Harry while allowing hostile anonymous briefings from its own orbit. If private contact is to rebuild trust, both sides must stop using unnamed sources to humiliate the other. Clear written arrangements would help. Confirmed deadlines, agreed accommodation, security procedures, communications rules, and a shared understanding of what remains private. The process may feel formal for a family, but formality is safer than repeating the confusion that has damaged every recent visit. A genuine thaw would not begin with a public announcement. It would begin with uneventful contact. Harry would visit without competing accounts appearing in the press. A conversation with Charles would remain private. Meghan would build her projects without using new royal revelations. Palace sources would avoid mocking the couple. William would observe whether the pattern had changed. Trust would return not through one emotional image, but through the absence of predictable damage over time. That process could take months or years. William has no reason to move quickly, especially when Catherine's health, the children, and preparations for the future crown already demand his attention. Harry cannot force that timetable through interviews, pressure, or public appeals. Every attempt to make reconciliation visible before it is real is likely to confirm William's caution. The only persuasive argument Harry can offer is consistent behavior. Charles may find that reality painful. He may want visible family harmony during his reign, particularly while managing his own health and responsibilities. But forcing a reunion could destroy the limited private contact that remains possible. A father can keep speaking to his son without asking the monarchy to restore him. A grandfather can know his grandchildren without releasing photographs. The most meaningful progress may be the progress the public never sees. The monarchy's current direction is therefore becoming clearer. Charles, Camilla, William, and Catherine are emphasizing continuity, service, coordinated communication, and long-term projects. Harry and Meghan remain outside that structure, able to support causes and build businesses, but without authority to represent the crown. The separation may feel emotionally incomplete, but it provides institutional clarity. It allows Charles to preserve a private relationship while allowing William to protect the future system. Harry's week in Britain did not prove that he has no public value. It proved almost the opposite. When he focuses on people, service, and causes, he can still be effective. The problem is that those moments are repeatedly buried beneath disputes he helps keep alive. His greatest mistake would be to interpret every boundary as an invitation to begin another battle. His greatest opportunity would be to accept the boundary and build a respected life beyond it. Meghan faces the same opportunity. A credible independent brand, steady charitable work, and a public identity not dependent on royal opposition would gradually weaken the claim that the couple needs palace conflict to remain relevant. That transformation would not happen through one launch or interview. It would happen through consistency. Independence becomes convincing when it no longer requires constant reference to the institution left behind. William and Catherine's advantage is not that they never experience difficulty. It is that their public behavior increasingly suggests they know where they are going. They protect their family, choose projects with long-term purpose, and allow the institution to speak through service rather than personal grievance. Their steadiness during a week dominated by Harry's legal and palace problems made the contrast unmistakable. The final verdict is not that one side is entirely right and the other entirely wrong. Harry has experienced genuine pain and may have legitimate concerns about security and media conduct. The palace has sometimes communicated poorly, and royal sources have contributed to distrust. William's boundaries may contain personal anger as well as institutional judgment. Catherine's polished public image does not mean her private life has been easy. More than one truth can exist inside the same family conflict. But public patterns still matter. Harry remains reactive. William and Catherine appear increasingly strategic. Charles wants private peace while protecting the crown. Camilla expects her position to be respected. Meghan wants independence, while royal identity continues to generate attention. Till those contradictions are addressed, every Sussex visit will risk becoming another cycle of accommodation arguments, security questions, legal statements, and speculation about reconciliation. The door to a private relationship may remain open. The door to official royal duty appears far more firmly closed. Harry may be able to return as a son, a father, and an independent charity figure. He cannot assume that returning to Britain means returning to the institution. Charles may meet him. William may continue to keep his household and the future crown at a distance. Those positions can exist at the same time. What happens next depends less on another headline than on conduct. Can Harry allow a disagreement to remain private? Can the palace stop briefing against him? Can Meghan create success without royal conflict? Can Charles offer affection without false promises? Can William protect his family without turning caution into permanent punishment? The answers will not appear in a photograph or a single meeting. They will appear through repeated choices. For now, the contrast is clear. Harry arrived carrying the weight of unfinished battles. William and Catherine continued building the next era. One story was about reaction, the other was about direction. And unless Harry decides that service matters more than proving he was wronged, the monarchy will keep moving forward without him, while the causes he cares about struggle to be heard above the noise. The most difficult truth may also be the simplest. Harry does not need another victory over the palace to create a meaningful future. He needs a future that no longer depends on the palace at all. If he can build that, private family contact may slowly become safer and more natural. If he cannot, every return to Britain will reopen the same conflict and strengthen William's belief that distance is the only workable answer. Share your verdict in the comments. Do you believe Harry should stop seeking any renewed royal role and focus completely on independent service? Or should King Charles and Prince William create a carefully limited path for him to support selected causes again? Subscribe to Palace Verdict Daily for more royal stories, palace conflict, and developments shaping the future of the crown.